Tekken 8 has been out for over 2 months now, but something else been bothering me. Is there ever a chance for other 3D fighting games to come back? Back in the day, we used to have so many 3D fighting games at the point, it kinda looked very bleak for 2D fighters for a while. When I think of 3D fighters, I'm talking about DOA, Dead or Alive, Soul Calibur, and Bloody Roar, and also the one that actually influenced the birth of Tekken and many other console games on PlayStation, Virtua Fighter. Growing up, I wasn't the craziest about Virtua Fighter, but how people talk about it piqued my interest. Fast forward to 2024, there are rumors of a new Virtua Fighter coming out soon, and my taste in gaming has well been evolved. So I had to bridge a gap. I went to find one of the best Virtua Fighter players of all time, Dr. Tricky, aka Tricky Eileen on social. Since 2013, starting with Sega Cup, Tricky herself has had consistent top 8 placements in fighting games and Virtua Fighter 5. Third place in Defend the North in 2019, and the crazy thing is, she is a double 2-time first place champion in Virtua Fighter 5 at Combo Breaker 2022 and 2023. But now, she is on her journey with Tekken 8, and I think it's the perfect time to bring Dr. Tricky to Yaya's Corner to talk about how Virtua Fighter pros feel about Tekken 8. Yaya's Corner is my monthly, bi-monthly, or monthly podcast series where I bring people on to talk about all things related to my channel, whenever I want to talk about it, whenever I want to do it. So make sure you lock in, hit subscribe, and the like button for both of us, and enjoy the video. What is good? What is up, everybody? It's Yaya, and we back like I never left with the episode 2, the second episode of Yaya's Corner. Now, disclaimer, I've asked her this before, but I did the YouTuber thing. Y'all know what YouTuber thing I'm talking about, okay? I'm sorry. Regardless, we are back with the one and only, the best, and one of the coolest people ever, one of the masterminds behind Virtua Fighter and fighting games in general. I'm here to introduce Tricky, Eileen, whatever you want to call her. She got too many names, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Tricky, or Eileen. I prefer Tricky though, but yes. Eileen's who I play in Virtua Fighter, and I'm just learning Tekken 8 right now. And a lot of folks have been enjoying that journey. I like talking about fighting games. I like talking about how to get good at them. And I like kind of integrating my psychological stuff into what I do to get good at these games, because I'm a psychologist too. Kind of bring them together.
See, look, that's so broken, because like she can cook people and then think about how she cooks somebody. I don't know what y'all be doing, but I know y'all help people and save lives. But at the same time, I just know the tournament hot seat and the person next to you, you probably just know how to play off their emotions. Cause like I had somebody tell me in tournament, it's funny that you said that. You kind of nervous, man. And I was like, yeah, it's been a long time since I did this. And then it just clicked in my head. After losing the first game, I was like, at that point, the nerves went away because I was pissed. And once I got pissed, I had to lock in, and then it just clicked and I won. But that besides the point. Tricky has been on one of the best Tekken journeys I've seen, coming from VF, Virtual Fighter, to Tekken 8. The first question I want to ask is, like, what is your main experience? Like, how do you feel, or your perspective from coming from Virtua Fighter to Tekken 8? Like, what's something that you feel like carry over between those games?
Yeah, a lot. Most things carry over from one game to the other. The thing that carries over the most are mix-ups, or their familiarity with reading an opponent on Oki, on how they have to handle pressure from range, how they like to press buttons or not press buttons, and also just animation recognition, because the animation speed is about the same in both games. 18 frames, 20 frames, like.
I'm gonna put that on the screen for y'all, because now that I'm gonna have to do the research, because now I'm like, that's crazy actually.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
Literally, like the frames are almost the same. The only big difference is that jab is 10 frames, which is 2 frames faster than they are in Virtua Fighter, but that's the same speed of our throws. So like my eyes are used to the speed of animations. Unlike Street Fighter, where like I'm looking at a 3-frame move, I can't see that. My eyes aren't built for that. So but I can see 12, I can see 10, you know?
Okay, okay. I really like that. The transition between both games so far. Going back and forth, even because she even still plays VF and even plays Tekken as well. So it's not really too hard to get mixed up with a lot of inputs, I believe, because you're just really good at one and you're evolving at Tekken. So that's very interesting from a player perspective that if you play another 3D fighting game, more than likely you could probably get into Tekken in that way or some shape or form. So that's very important to know. But I just really want to know, like, if anything that, like, what don't you like about Tekken 8? See, I didn't ask this last time. How are you feeling about that compared to Virtua Fighter?
The system.
Okay.
I miss having such a powerful universal system. Virtual Fighter's fighting system is so oppressive in a good way. Like, like basically, it lets you get out of stuff or in the stuff. More or less the same with all the characters. How you do it might vary a little bit, but everyone more or less has access to the same kinds of tools. They just might vary a little bit here and there.
Right.
So matchups are as important. In Tekken, like some characters, like Wolf. Not Wolf, sorry, I'm calling him Wolf. He's not Wolf.
It's like Smash.
Yeah. No, Wolf is the grappler in Virtual Fighter, right? So I'm thinking King.
Okay.
King, he has real throws that are real mix-ups, right? So, but everyone else doesn't get that unless you're back turn and you're laying, and then you can do that, but you're also jumping in the air, and it's really slow, so you can knock her out the air. So, like, whatever. That's another thing in Virtual Fighter. Like, that much uniqueness to each character and how they engage with system mechanics isn't the same, and I get frustrated sometimes because I'm looking for universal answers, and sometimes there isn't one that I like.
Okay.
This one, I don't like it.
All right. Okay. So that's pretty good that you really acknowledge that the system of the game is not even just on the surface level with the mechanics like heat and things like that. It goes deeper to like universal functions and Bun's application really, and that's very important. So I really do enjoy that you said that, because last time I couldn't get that out of, if y'all know, I couldn't get that out of a lot of people. They be too scared. Tricky was like, you know what? It's the system. I respect it. I respect that so much. Just instantly said it. So in that case, it's very interesting to see that. Another question, and I'm asking this because I'm presenting this in a certain way, but what is something you believe right now that Virtual Fighter can learn from Tekken 8? Like, if anything, in terms of like the game itself or mechanics, what is something that you feel that it blends one-to-one with that?
I'm gonna leave out the rollback netcode because that,
That's the cheat code.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
It's not an option. Like, it has to be that. It's still not going to be mechanics though. It's presentation. Like, presentation is so good. Like, the other day I was doing a stream on like how to know what a chunky low is, because people get talking about you need a chunky low, and I'm like, what is a chunky low? Give me a number. Is it like a damage? Is it it's a sound. Chunky low is a sound, and it corresponds to a damage value, kind of, and a frame advantage value. A certain sound has frames and damage associated with it. That is redonkulous, and I think it's really deep. I love that. I love that. I want VF to like have more nuanced sound cues and more nuanced and clear visual distinction of like what's happening on the screen, so that spectators can kind of get a sense of what's happening, and so that the players also have an easier time reading what's happening too. It helps everybody. That's the big one. I hope they don't take rage. I don't want that. Don't.
What's wrong with rage?
We don't need it. We have ring outs and walls already.
Okay.
That's 100%
I mean,
damage.
Tekken has wall splats and wall breaks and
But they
stage.
don't have ring out.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need it.
100%.
Now I'm thinking about it. You really don't need it in that type of game at all, actually. Yeah. That would just make the game kind of crazy. That way you would have like Like, imagine Rage and then getting moves that just push you back, and it makes a force 50-50, and you have to deal with the. Now, yeah, you're right. I'm already. Never mind, I said because I don't even want to. I don't even hear y'all going through that. I just cannot fathom the Twitter antics when that game, if that had that, like just tunnel vision and seeing if it had that type of thing. No, I'm good on that. So that's a pretty good thing. I think presentation with fighting games is very important though, altogether, because it's what sells games to casual market, to everybody altogether. So I think that's something that, even like I said last time, pro players even acknowledge, you know, good players acknowledge that fighting games are more than just one type of thing. The package matters because that's what helps y'all community. It makes that to where it sells the game, the player base, all that. So that's a W. And I said this before, my main thing that I really like about Virtua Fighter is that on the main menu screen, you have it to where you can have like the spectating of matches around the world's peak. That, I wish every fighting game had the option for that, because I could turn it on and just be like, all right, this how this is gonna be today. Cool. Or this person's playing, I might see them on the rank today, you know, and it just gets you hyped to see good gameplay, or just gameplay in general. When you turn the game on, first thing you see is the game. So I wanted to ask, we've heard about the rumors, everybody's been talking about the rumors, and we've talked about like Virtua Fighter potentially either trying to make its own lane or keep it the same vein as what it's always been, but trying to bring it to the modern day. So how do you feel about that entirely, from what you've may heard or things you may have seen from it?
Yeah, I've been thinking more about like what I want to see in the next Virtua Fighter. I have like 2 videos in the oven on that right now.
I'll link them.
So
I got y'all.
Let's go. They haven't done yet by then, but we'll see if they're ready. But yeah, basically, so I guess this is also kind of answering the last question, but more mechanic. There's certain mechanics that I think Tekken, I'm not gonna say does better, because I don't want to say that. I can't. I just can't. But that make it feel better to players who are starting out. And one of those is how Tekken's movement cancel system works. You can cancel anything into anything. And like, that's kind of cool. And I think because VF locks you in, you have to really commit to what you do in that game. If you stash, you're stuck. If you evade, you're stuck. You can cancel it, but you're still kind of stuck. And because of that, that's what makes the system mechanics so oppressive. That's what I mean by oppressive. Like, if you do a thing, you are in that thing. You've done it, and now you have to deal with the ramifications of that. In Tekken, you can kind of slip out of stuff because you can cancel, you can stop. It's like, I was doing this, but I'm not. I'm just locking down.
You know, the Lily players, when they back turn, you're like, all right, they're going to do something. Nope, I'm going to just get out of it. Or like, you know, Azucena, and then she's just like, nope, we back. I get it. I feel that. You want more. I guess you like, if you go for an action, you want it to feel more committal, and in that way, it not only rewards or punishes the player based on a decision they made, and that is a good feeling altogether. When you go into a stance and you capitalize off of it or get a certain button from it, that is very great about fighting games in general. Like, that's a good feeling. So seeing a VF do that, and I'm, like I said multiple times, people, if you watch this channel, like, VF to me, like, I grew up with it with my granddad, but it wasn't always my favorite, right? And it was one of those things because, like, if it has Vanessa in it, I'm gonna play it. that's just what I would just turn it on. If they show her, I turn on and play the game. That's perfectly fine. Other than that, I'ma still mess around with it, but I'm not too efficient on it right now, and it doesn't really appeal to just generally me. So I'm happy that you brought up the idea of the game itself figuring out different ways to work things all across the board. But I think one thing we got to talk about It's content. Now, you've been killing it with content creation on your end. I've been seeing the numbers. People across the board have been seeing the numbers. You have been cooking, regardless or not, if you don't believe that yourself. You have been indeed cooking. Okay? So, what do you feel lacks, or how do you feel about the fighting game scene in general with the content creation? What do you think could be improved? What is something you would like to see?
Yeah, I remember this question last time too. And it's actually a really hard question. I thought more about it since I've had some more time to think. And I think mindsets, like the mentality, granted, I'm a psychologist, so I'm biased, but like, I think mindset, the way we think about ourselves as we play these games, the way we talk to ourselves when we're winning or losing, and what we say it means to myself when I win a fight, when I lose a fight, when I fail to do a thing that I was trying to do, or when I get the thing I wanted to do. When I rank up and get points, or when I lose points, what am I telling myself? And how do you handle that? When I was watching Kumite the other day, I don't know if we're dating. It's okay to date the video and say Kumite? Okay, cool. I was watching Kumite yesterday.
That's fine.
And one of the things that I noticed about the players, the competitors, is that there would be so many odd interactions that would happen. And the players were just stone cold, steadfast, not phased. And that quality was happening constantly, and all those players had it. That skill set can be trained. You can develop it, and to become good, you have to, because you can't be getting flustered up there. That's how you lose.
Yeah.
I think that would be better to be talked about more.
Yeah. So it's funny because I even tackled this a couple times, like how to not get tilted, holding yourself accountability, find accountability for your losses instead of just blaming on the game and its mechanics a lot of the time. Like I strongly believe there's an absolute line between both of those, right? Because I know some games can have very egregious mechanics in them, and it could just be generally looked as like, oh, I lost because of this. But in reality, there was reasons why they kept doing X thing to you, or you probably just was, in a bad flowchart state and just was tilted beyond belief and didn't even notice it, right? And I've talked about like anxiety with fighting games. That's probably one of my favorite videos I made last year, and it was in Street Fighter 6, and it was me talking about how quick story time. I went to CEO Taku. It was CEO Taku. It was either CEO Taku or CEO Gaming. It was the first major after during the pandemic when they opened up again, because people are like still don't believe it's a thing. You get the point. But it was like literally after that super peak period. So I went to CEO that period of time, and that was the last time I played Smash for real. Now I legitimately blame myself for this because I wasn't really playing Smash, but I also was learning a new character at the same time, so it was the dumbest decision to do. But I went to go hang out with friends, but it was the first time in my life that I've ever went 0-2 in Smash Brothers. I'm usually like the guy that gets out of, like, it was like the worst pool like thing I've went through, at least the part one of it. And it discouraged me from playing fighting games like competitively for a minute, because I just wasn't the type of person to be like, you know what, I lost, it's over with. And leading up to Street Fighter 6, I told myself, I was like, I'm going to these events and I'm loving being in the atmosphere, but I'm like, I'm not really playing in a tournament. And I feel like I'm missing a part of me. So I tackled it. And that's very important that you bring up, that people need to talk about the mentality going into games and tournaments, how people just have this strong mental. I've seen a lot of, like, even Kumite yesterday, there was a lot of interactions. It's my video. So it was a lot of interactions, and I played a couple of those characters. Two of my mains were there, and they play them, and I was like, that's some bullshit. And I'm like, how can you keep this mental on the stage like this and not lose it? Like, and like when the thing happened, it's even crazier with fighting games now, because they have the cameras there too. So I'm like looking like, so you just okay with that? But I realized that's a whole nother mental level when things happen, you just got to be like, you know what? If I let it get to me, it'll throw off the rest of the match or even the rest of the set, and that's important. So I appreciate you saying that. Get your bits of health in check. Take it slow and tab, everybody. I always tell everybody, we don't take L's, we take lessons because we never lose. So that's my quota. So another thing I want to ask before we end off here is strictly what is next for you within the FGC and fighting games? You know, you've been cooking it. You can see behind the combo breaker trophies. I zoom in right quick, you know. Got the combo breaker. Yeah, look, she had the Muda. She had the Muda. Yeah. But what is next for you in the future of fighting games, either competitively or even with content?
Yeah. Competitively, I want to keep getting better at Tekken. My goal for Tekken, right? I asked a while ago, like, oh, you know, are you gonna try like compete in tournaments for Tekken? Like, you know, how good you want to get and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see how much I like the game first, because I have to like the game first. I have to find the game fun to play and fun to grind. Because when I'm never really grinding.
Right.
I'm just playing it because I find it fun. And getting good, to me, that whole process, that whole like scientific method and approach and systematic thing, I love every moment. I love it so much. So I'm feeling that for Tekken. So I'm going to keep doing that with Tekken. And if things keep going the way they are going, I'll get pretty good at that game. And I would like to be like a threat. I don't plan to get like knee level. I don't have time for that. I just don't. But it's just facts. Like, it takes a lot more time to get to that level of skill. In the amount of time I have left before Virtua Fighter 6 comes out. So I want to see how good can I get? How much of a threat can I become in those practices? I just want to go in there and just mess people up. I just want to be an agent of chaos. That's all I want to be.
I respect that. I love that. Okay.
Content-wise, I guess, continuing to show the journey of like,
I like that.
Like, people don't often get to see like a top competitor of a.
You saying
game.
that line, not to cut you off, that just showed me the power of a content creator in his heart. Because now you know a lot of people's with like my YouTube channel, like, yes, I primarily cover fighting games right now, but my YouTube channel is built of memories and my legacy, right? When I built my YouTube channel, the reason why I built it was supposed to be about the things I like and showcasing that to the world, right? So that's my journey. And when a YouTuber says that, or a creative, any person that works in those spaces, even the people that help in, you know, social level, social work, like things like that, that just gives me a sign that like, all right, you got a mission, and I believe you will make that mission 100% possible across the board. So I'm happy. Tricky's the GOAT, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she the GOAT. So, but again, that's all I want to have for today. I don't want to hold y'all up for Yaya's Corner. Still have some pieces of it, the other part that I could probably kind of retain, but it'll be work. So I'll see if I could do it. It's just, do I want to sit there and figure out how to configure audio from zero again? No, I don't. Regardless, y'all, go check out Tricky. All her links to her Twitch, her YouTube, all of that will be in my description down below. Never forget that. And number 2, go watch her on Twitch. Support her. Get that. You need that partner. That's what you need. I need to see that check mark by the end of the year. All right, that's something I need to see. But any last words, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to thank you for, for hitting me up, for, giving me this opportunity to talk to you and your platform, and just kind of bringing me here. It's really important to me to really just share and like, I love these games, and I want other people to like them as well, and they do. And when I see people get frustrated with themselves, because I see it, we're all on Twitter. I'm like, man, you don't have to be frustrated. Like, just do this thing, and like, you might not get so frustrated, and then you can be really, really good, because they really care and they want to be good. Like, I can see it, but they just don't know how, and no one's really told them how yet. So I'm trying to also through my journey show them this is how you can do it.
Okay. I love that. So that being said, once again, shout out to Tricky. Go follow her on all socials. It's your boy Avataryaya. You guys are golden, and that is raw. Squala, peace, and I'm out. Okay. Alright, and